the thing. They're trying to take a niche thing like visual novels where you're basically reading and trying to make it for the people that want action, mixing it with action and that kind of stuff. And it just doesn't work very well to my mind.
Well, I think it would work, but you would have the only way you could make it work is if you spent like a lot, and I mean like a lot of money and time on it. Because in those kinds of games, like in order to make it so that the choices really do lead to other routes, you would have to make a lot of different routes and a lot of different branching paths for people to take. And then in later iterations, you would have to make like whole separate storylines for different people who've chosen like different things. And while I guess it would be possible, it would take so much time and so much money and so much effort. And in the end, you might not really get a lot out of it in terms of like revenue in the end.
And
So,
you have a lot more freedom with visual novels because unlike Life is Strange and stuff, that stuff is 3D animation, whereas visual novels tend to be static images.
yeah.
So in that way, yes, there would be more work included in that. Um, whereas visual novels are more about describing rather than showing, unlike with Life is Strange and the Telltale games, where they have to show this stuff happening, which gives visual novels a lot more leeway.
Yeah.
Um, and because then they can focus more on paying for voice acting rather than paying people to animate what just happened. They, like with Corpse Party, with the different endings, you get some pictures, but apart from that, you don't really get a you and you get pictures and a description. You don't really see what happens
Yeah.
um until later games like um the latest one that was on the PS Vita and stuff like that, which does have 3D animation in it and stuff like that. Um,
Yeah.
and visual novels can either be fully voice acted or they won't have voices at all.
Yeah.
And you can turn the voices off.
Yeah. There's that too. Also, welcome back, Al. Also, we did not get the worst ending. We got like basically the second best and also canon ending. And that's what really matters. We got the canon ending.
Yes.
That's how good we are. We were like, Scrubs will want to get like the A ending, but we know the real lore. We know the real facts. We're going for the B ending. This was all predetermined. I had decided this from the beginning that we were going for the canon ending. And so we did.
More
I
like,
have
and you messed
delivered.
up by getting the ham too late.
I know. I'm like, oh my gosh, the ham is in the fridge, and I freaking forgot until like basically towards the end of the game. And so by the time I went over there, he was already gone because he had already died from starvation. And I was like, okay. The struggle. Azure is a chaotic neutral. That is true. But yeah. I mean,
But that's yeah.
I love like I love visual novels. I'll always um love those things. But I do have to agree with something that John said once where I kind of hate the idea most of the time of like true endings in visual novels, which I know is kind of like a random thing to talk about here, but like I think true endings in visual novels is okay if it's like done well and it's like kind of like in the Nonary game series, true endings are done like really well. But like in some other series, like true endings kind of just mostly feel like, oh yeah, you can make choices, but these are the legit choices. Like if you don't make these choices, you're awful, you know? That kind of thing. And it's like,
Well,
oh.
well, I like games like Drakengard where it's made purposely hard and you have to play the game over and over again to be able to get the best ending. You have to work for your ending. Like, you will get the worst ending first and then move on to the top ending if you play it several times, which I find quite interesting. And also, one of their worst endings leads on to the events of Nier as well. Um,
Yeah. I mean,
which I just love that the fact that you have to work for your best ending and the worst endings tend to be canon.
yeah, yeah, definitely. And I just feel like it kind of makes it so that the whole idea of the game, which is to make choices and whatnot, actually feels more like substantial in that like case, because then it's like it's not just um like these, yes there are choices, but really you're only going to pick these ones, right? It's more varied, it's more like to the person like who's playing, and I think like that makes the game more like legitimate in my eyes, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
that was apart from the whole people being killed off anyway, Telltale games, like um it would always say this person will remember that, but it didn't really, apart from them making snippy remarks, it didn't really make a difference to the game. Whereas in other games, if you piss someone off, then they will leave you for dead, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, or like in terms of a game where you have to play it more than once to get the true ending, like I think one of the first that comes to my mind um, would be like I guess maybe Oxenfree is one where
Oh,
that
I
kind
love
of happens,
Oxenfree.
where that happens, and I loved that. I loved that experience. I loved like the choices that you can make in it, and I thought that was a really good like solid experience. And then you
I
compare
actually
that.
played that on stream.
Oh, awesome. I just played it on my own.
Unfortunately, that disappeared because I forgot to highlight my streams. So you won't be
Mm,
able to find it,
yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah,
But
because
I have
it's,
played Oxenfree before. I do love Oxenfree.
yeah,
Um,
it's definitely a favorite of mine too.
because that does actually affect how people react to you and stuff like that. And as I said in the stream, is that you can tell how people it visually shows you how people are reacting to you rather than telling you through the loading screens into the next things where you have pictures where people are showing whether they're sad or happy or are actually missing
Yeah, yeah,
from the game.
yeah. I mean, like comparing that to like I don't know if you've ever played this, but The Letter, that visual novel.
Yes.
Like, oh my gosh, I got so mad with that game. Like I was at the same level as John when I played The Letter. I was that mad about it because like like there's just so much in that game that's just so like I mean, it had like an interesting concept at the beginning. The art was amazing. All of that was super great. But then a lot of the choices felt kind of meaningless in a lot of ways. The whole thing, even though it's called The Letter and it starts off with a letter, it's later, spoilers, it's later revealed to be like, has nothing to do with the actual thing that's going on at all. Like, it's revealed the letter is like a prank or whatever. And what's actually going on has nothing to do with the letter. And so it's like, why did you call it the letter if the letter has nothing to do with it? And then there's the true ending, which literally kills off both of the only LGBT canon characters in the game. And it's like, And then, I don't know. There was just a lot wrong with that visual novel. And I'm just like, you take, like, some games just do it right, and then others just, like, straight up mess it up.
They do. They really do.
Well, anyways, it's already been a little while, so I guess we'll end the stream here. I want to thank everybody, Azure, Rick, Al, all y'all, for watching this through. And I'm glad we managed to get an okay ending instead of what I was afraid we were gonna get. But Lulu definitely saved my life many times through this playthrough, I feel like. But
thank you all for watching.
Yeah. And we'll hope to see y'all next Saturday for our next Forgotten Game podcast
It
thingy.
should be researching.
Yeah, I'll
time.
be researching this time, so I gotta pick something. I'll have to think about it. Have to work the noggin for that one. Though I think I might have an idea of what I want to look at, but I'll have to definitely think about it.
I don't have the power to do that right.
But yeah, Lulu doesn't have the power to ban. I should give Lulu though the power. Lulu should be a moderator. I should do that.
Come here, Rick. No, that's fine.
But yeah, anyways, thank all of y'all for watching, and I am Anya the Nerd, joined by...
I'm Princess Lulu, 1989.
And thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next Saturday with another Forgotten Game. So we'll hope to see you all there.
Nerds in a podcast.
Yeah. So anyways, bye.
Bye, everyone.